keep
could
it
be
rolling.
The next Skrillex. We can do dubstep. It's easy.
It's a lot of beep boops
It's
and
just
bopping
noise.
Isn't that music?
Well, it's no.
It's controlled noise.
Because usually music has melodies and rhythms.
And rhymes.
And electronic music is just loud rhythm. Like the same volume, all just loud. That's my experience.
I'm dying, sorry.
You should be.
Hey everybody.
Hey everybody. Yeah.
Are we starting?
What are we talking about?
I don't know.
You want to talk?
But let's get into it.
You want to talk about all the times we've been to raves? Have you guys ever been to a rave?
No.
I haven't. I've been to an electronic
Have you?
show.
I've been to a rave once and it was okay.
Yeah.
But it was a gay rave, and the thing about gay raves.
Agree.
Grave.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
The thing about gay raves
I've
is
been
that
to the grave.
is that it's a lot of just like bumping and dancing, whatever, but a lot of people grinding up on each other. It's very uncomfortable.
I
if you're not into
imagine.
that.
I think that's any rave.
I think that's any dance.
It's grinding and it's drugs and it's loud.
That was my impression of like the 8th grade dance.
Yeah.
Drugs.
Probably.
8th grade.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever go to your
No.
5th grade dance?
We never went to any dances except for your senior prom.
Really? I went to my first school dance in 5th grade or whatever, and I just remember just going in circles, like hurting all the other students. It was really interesting. And then
You hurted people?
Like a mosh pit, but without the violence.
yeah, because they're elementary kids who are like 10 years old.
You
Like
can
5th
mosh
grade.
pit in elementary school.
How old are you in 10th grade? Like 10 years old or something like that?
In 10th grade or
Sorry,
in 5th grade?
5th grade. Sorry, yeah,
Yeah.
my mind's
If you're 10 in 10th grade, you're either really smart or you messed up something.
something went up.
You shouldn't be there.
And I went to the middle school dance once, and I remember just having the worst time of my life. And then being like the next day, it's like, oh yeah, lying to everyone. It's like, yeah, nah, I didn't go to the dance. Like, oh, you should have been there. We would have had so much fun. It's like, fucking liar.
I know we did.
Yeah, fucking liar. How dare you?
We just opted.
Nobody
to go...
called you out on it? Nobody's like, I saw you.
No. Well, here's the thing. This is when I spiraled into my no one cares about me stuff, because it was the same year where we were doing this PE game or whatever, and it was people were hiding and you gotta figure out which one of the two groups was not there, and so they looked at me and it's like, hey Josh, you need to be here because you're kind of forgettable. I'm like, that's fucking rude.
Yeah.
And then it spiraled me into a no one cares about me kind of situation. Yeah.
And now he's afraid of being forgotten.
Yeah.
So thanks, kids.
Yeah, it's all trauma. Builds character.
We just elected to go to a friend's house and play video games and eat pizza on dance nights.
That's fun.
Yeah.
That's how it
That was us and Timmy.
Yeah.
That's
That was
how
a
it
much
was.
more enjoyable way to spend dances.
And his mom would feed us nonstop.
Do you guys want pizza rolls? Are you guys good?
Yeah, she'd make burgers and rice, and it was really good.
Nice. Burgers and rice, what a combo.
Yeah.
Both very filling.
Yeah, because she'd make very Japanese meals, but then
Like dumplings? That's, I think, where we had our
Is
first
Timmy
dumplings.
Japanese?
Yes.
Timmy
Timmy Turner?
You gonna call him out right
yeah,
now?
I was
on
like,
live
do I want to
television?
say his full
Timmy
name?
Tom.
Timmy Tom. He's very Japanese.
Okay.
His parents both very
Very traditional.
yeah,
Interesting.
especially his father.
I bet men tend to really be about traditions and all that stuff.
But yeah, we'll tell you his last name later. But very if you heard it, you'd be like, oh yeah.
Ah, I see.
You wouldn't think anything else.
Is it Timmy Two-Tone?
No.
Like Tommy Two-Shoe, but...
Close. Close.
Timmy Two-Tone. Is that the name of your?
Isn't that from something?
Timmy Two-Tone?
Yeah.
I have no clue.
That sounds familiar.
I think it could be.
That's what I call you when you release your album. Timmy
Timmy
Two-Tone.
Two-tone?
Yeah.
I feel like I've heard that. I feel like that's from something.
I
can't think of it.
I couldn't tell you what. I thought I was saying random things. So anyways, what are we talking about?
I don't know, boss. What are we talking about?
What today we just check in with each other. How you guys doing?
I am tired.
Yeah.
of life.
Say, what's been going on with you?
Oh, so much.
Tell us, Josh.
So, for those who don't know, which is everyone and no one at the same time.
I mean, we talked about it, I think, a little bit on last week's episode because it was online.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Listen,
It's been a week.
It has been a week. This environment is just like a different mindset. I had different memories. But yeah, so in the last podcast that we did, I had talked about how my car had gotten stolen, and that is a bummer.
That is a big bummer.
And it was that's been a whole ordeal too, because like at this point I've kind of given up the fact that I'm gonna see my car. There should be one more week.
Do you want to share the process of what has happened since?
I just keep thinking of that kid. It's like, do you remember?
Have you
Probably.
had it?
It's
so funny.
It's so funny.
Every single time I see it, it makes me laugh.
And at the very end, he's like, "Yeah, I did
nailed
that
it.
sentence. I nailed it." It's
I words.
yeah, it was great.
Crushed it.
But so yeah, let me talk to you guys about it. Woke up. We were gonna come down here.
Woke up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy.
And then I immediately stopped feeling like P. Diddy.
I don't know.
I don't know. He might have had his car stolen once or twice.
I'm sure. I don't actually know how P. Diddy looks like in my head.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I just know it's been released that he's not a good dude.
Yeah, I was reading a Reddit thread yesterday about people who have had like the biggest declines, and somebody named him.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
So we woke up and we were like head up here to do some podcasts, and we went downstairs to our parking garage in our apartment, and it was one less car than there should have been there. And I'm just like,
next to my car was an empty space.
Yeah, and I was like, that's not right. And then Ian looks at me and is like, you did park it inside here. I'm like, yes, I did. I did not park it on the streets. I never park it on the streets unless there's someone here.
Because, like, I know that, he knows where he parked his car, but in my brain, I'm like...
Did he?
Well, no, in my brain, I'm just like, I've seen this. Like, my brain's trying to, like, think back to the last time I saw my car. And, I've seen my car there by itself before without his next to me. Yeah. Like, when he goes to work and stuff. And that's, like, the only image my brain was, like, retrieving. And I'm like, no, I know it's been there before, but, like...
What if I just left my car at work and I just walked home?
That'd be a long walk.
But yeah, so my car got stolen, and that was stressful as hell. So immediately called the police. So I called 911, which I don't know which number to call really. So 911 seems to be like the go-to number. Sure. I called the number and they're like, "Hello, yes, is this an emergency?" And apparently they didn't hear me. It's like, no, not really. And it's like, hello. It's like, yes, can you hear me? It's like, yeah, I can hear you. Is this an emergency? No. It's like, okay, I'm gonna disconnect. And they just disconnected me as opposed to like trying to transfer me or whatever. I don't know what the protocol is, but like
it's probably to disconnect because you're holding up the line.
Well, yeah. That being said, let me get into it. So I looked up like what place I should call, and I ended up calling. Who did I call? I ended up calling the Hawthorne police station or sheriff department or whatever, and they're like, "Hello, yes, like yeah, my car just got stolen. Can someone come down here and like take note or whatever you guys need to do?" Yeah. It's like, where's your location? It's like, it's so and so. It's like, I don't think we're in your jurisdiction. It's like, you're no. It's like, no, you should be into this one. And I'm like, okay. So it's like, let me look that up. It's like, no, I can just transfer you. It's like, all right, cool, no worries. So they transfer me over to the other one, and they're like, "Hello, yes." It's like, yeah, my car got stolen. It's like, what's your address? Like, it's this. It's like, I think you're supposed to be in this other one, which is the one that I had called beforehand. Right. It's like, no. They literally just transfer me over to you guys. So like,
they said it's your problem.
So like, I don't want to be going back and forth. It's like, okay. So they sent a car down. They got lost because our apartment is in a weirdest spot that always goes into like this back lot area.
It takes you to an entrance that's not an entrance.
It's an end. But they end up finding us. And I talked to them, and they look at me, and it's like, you're in a weird spot, because, like, and then he showed me a map. It's like, this is technically the jurisdiction, but this is also technically the other one's jurisdiction, too. So, we don't know which one it goes to. It's like, that's not right. That should be fixed. And it's like, yeah, I don't know how much longer you have on this, but you should probably move. This is like a hazard. I'm like, okay.
Like, that's so stupid that your car gets stolen and the police's answer is, man, that sucks. You should probably move.
Yeah.
Like oh, we need to fix our system so that all our citizens are protected.
No, just move.
It's just
Yeah,
like,
it's
no,
too
you
much-
should just
it's too
move.
much of an
This
effort,
is a
man.
bad area. You should probably just move out of here.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing,
So,
police?
Meanwhile, you used to live 5 minutes down the street. Probably wouldn't have been a problem.
Probably, yeah. Literally, if you go... Our apartment is in a weird, like, middle zone area between two zones, and that...
It's like a newer development too.
Yeah,
so.
which confuses everything. Literally everything. So anyways, so I gave him my information and, you know, going back and forth between all that stuff, and eventually our building manager came down and gave me, like, the footage of all of my car being stolen. Apparently got stolen, like, the night before, like,
I watched those
10
videos.
p.m.
You can
I
so
sent
clearly...
in the Dropbox.
Yeah.
You can so clearly see the dude's faces.
It's so
too.
he looks directly at the camera.
Yeah, several times.
Yeah, and it's just like comes in, clearly scouted me ahead of time because like he went directly to my car.
And your car is not near the front.
It's not.
Like their parking spots are as far back into the parking.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're in the far back corner as you could be. Like, you get into the parking garage. There's a whole aisle to the left, and then there's a second aisle that's farther back, and we're all the way like in the back corner, like tucked in.
Like literally as far back as, and these guys beeline straight to Josh's car.
Yeah.
Did not even so much as look at another car in between.
Yeah.
And according to our building manager, these guys have broken into the building before and broken into apartments that were vacant on the upper floors. And he's filed police reports and nothing's been done.
No, so that's the other thing too. So when I was talking to the police and I was talking to one of them, it's like, yeah, dude, it says that there's no reports here about this. And I'm like, that's weird. And then eventually I was talking to our building manager and he was saying like, yeah, no, I've made so many reports about this.
Yeah.
And he like asked me, he's like, I'm only asking because like I made reports, so I want to know if like they actually have. It's like, according to them, there's nothing in the system, and like that's dumb.
That is dumb. Several somebodies is not doing their job.
Yeah.
This department is not on top of things.
Yeah. So
They probably just don't. I mean, based on the comments they took you, they just don't care.
they don't.
They're just like, it's a bad area. Who cares?
Which, like, I get it. Like, if you're in, like, a not-so-great area and you constantly get calls, like, stuff like that, you get overwhelmed with that. But it's still your duty to do.
It's still your job to do.
But,
I wonder why people hate cops.
yeah. But, yeah.
Except for Kamala.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so that was a whole ordeal, and eventually, you know, got that done. And, that was stressful as hell the rest
And
of
you
the day.
haven't heard anything.
Oh, that's funny
since?
because we think these are the same people who probably broke into his car before and stole his
sure.
parking permits and his tire pump.
Yeah.
Oh, they stole your tire pump too.
Yeah, I didn't know it for the longest time.
Yeah.
Because that wasn't...
Yeah,
that
until
wasn't-
I asked him for a tire pump,
Yeah.
and he's like, okay, I'll go pump air into your tires. He goes downstairs, or no, we came back from lunch, and he's like, you can go up, I got it. And then he comes up like a minute later, he's like, I don't have the pump, I think they took it.
Yeah.
And then, but we had asked our building manager, like, oh, hey, you know, somebody broke into our cars, and he said he'd get look through the tapes, but it was like a 12-hour window or whatever,
Right.
since we'd been to our car. But this time, we gave him like a 16-hour window or something, because we had gotten back from going to dinner at like 6:30, and then we were leaving to meet you guys at like 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
So I mean that's a pretty big window, but he got
He
the
was on
footage
it.
like really fast.
And you know what? Shout out to him. I don't know if I want to say his name, but shout out to him because he, from what I can tell, was very on top of this.
Yeah.
And very
Yeah.
attentive.
I mean, he
and
took
showed up and like
a
that's
whole
all-
car stealing very seriously, and I
Yeah.
mean we appreciate him for that.
Yeah.
Although he has been saying that he's thinking about getting security. Nothing has been
Yeah,
done
I
about
mean
that
when we
yet.
talked to him about
It has
the
been like only a week though.
the
so.
stealing,
It's been 2 weeks.
when we talked to him about the first time Josh's car was broken into and when we got the new remotes and everything, you know, he was talking about getting like maybe a security guard for the area that would just watch the cameras and stuff. But
No, it's only been a week. This happened last week.
yeah.
Yeah.
But he had his
Did it
car.
happen last week?
Yeah, it was last
Yeah,
week.
it was
It
last
just
week.
feels so
Last
long ago
week.
because it's so
That's
much.
so
A lot has happened this week.
Yeah.
But I mean, your car got broken into like months ago.
That
And,
too.
You know,
Yeah.
we could have had a security guy watching the cameras.
Yeah. Well,
Or like they're just patrolling.
It is what it is. I don't know. I just know like the day that if we do end up getting like a security, I'm gonna get so buddy with that guy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna charm the shit out of that guy. So
We'll bring him cookies and stuff.
no, I'll do my Salazar thing and just like win him over somehow. I don't know how I'll do it, but I'll figure it out. But I want to make sure it's like, hey, yo, dude, like.
You got me, bro.
Like
You got
like,
me.
This has been like an ongoing issue, and I just really want to be okay with it.
Yeah, that's wild.
Bring him some Gatorade every now and then. It's like, here you go, man.
That sucks.
Appreciate what you do. But yeah, so that was a whole ordeal. And then it was like one bad thing after the other, where like that happened. Then I learned that apparently my insurance was inactive, which I had
I heard about that.
nothing was being told to me that there was a warning or anything like that, so I had no clue for the longest time.
What was the reason your insurance was inactive?
So they don't know specifically because it happened so long ago. So, but
Apparently they don't have records.
but apparently one of the common things that happens is that when people get new credit cards, they don't update their information, and so there's no payment being done. So because of that, they just stop it.
And they don't give you like a notice or something?
They're supposed to. She said like there should have been one that got sent out to you. It's like should have is different than actually what happened.
I didn't get anything.
So.
But also your card last got stolen at least like 2 years ago, so.
No, longer.
I said
You haven't had car insurance for longer than 2 years?
Apparently.
Lucky.
Yeah.
And nothing bad happened is what I
the
mean.
only car he's crashed is mine, so. Well, not crashed.
Wow.
Yeah, crash is a strong word.
Yeah, sorry.
Stronger. Stronger.
The only car he's totally demolished was my car.
He tapped somebody else with my car.
The lightest of taps. The lightest of taps, nothing went about it because she's like, I don't want my insurance to go up for this stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Me neither.
Like, it's not that big of an issue. So, thank God that was lucky break. But this, again, you guys say I'm very lucky, but I also have very big unlucky moments, and I feel like it's the world balancing itself out with me.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's been my.
Well, you're just lucky in like video games and other stuff.
You got a whole Apple Watch for free, dude. That's pretty lucky.
I'm very charismatic when I want to be, and that goes a long way sometimes.
Look, all I can say is no one's giving me anything for free.
It's true.
So.
But yeah, that happened, and yeah, that's been my week. It's been shitty. I think also all the stress has made me get sick too. So that was a whole ordeal too. Because I don't know if you want to talk about what's been going on with yours, but it's related with my sickness.
Yeah, I mean, I had a work conference, like 2 weeks ago, I guess now, that we put on, and I didn't really sleep well when we were there, and then we got back. And then last weekend I was like kind of sick-ish, and then found out that I had COVID. So
He's gotten COVID every time he's been to convention.
Mm-hmm.
So
3 years in a row.
So that was fun. And then on Wednesday he got super sick, and I was like, oh no, did he get the Rona?
Yeah.
But then he told me on Thursday he woke up and he threw up, but then he felt so much better.
Yeah.
And I think that was just him getting all his stress out.
Yeah, my inner demons finally releasing themselves.
Which is good. I'm glad I didn't get COVID. But
yeah, I'm glad you didn't get COVID.
Yeah.
I'm glad it didn't affect you that bad. Like, I know you were sick, but it didn't. From
Yeah,
what I could tell, it didn't seem. I mean, we were playing games that night and we recorded a podcast, so like.
Yeah, I mean, I had no days where I was like dead.
Yeah.
But also, this is the first time I've gotten COVID. I mean, I did get a booster shot like 2 to 3 weeks ago, and I think that probably helped. That was a smart choice. And then,
did you get it because of convention?
Yes.
Yeah, that's smart.
Smart move.
And then
Still got COVID, but smart move.
Yeah, I mean, it's not supposed to prevent. It's supposed to make it not kill you.
And that is what happened, indeed.
Yeah.
So vaccines work, kids.
Yes, they do.
But
and adults.
Yeah, but also this is the first time that I've gotten COVID and not like physically overexerted myself afterwards. So I think that also really helped, because the first time I got it, we came back from Vegas, and we came back on Wednesday, and then Thursday, Friday I moved.
Yeah.
And then last year, I think my first symptom was like a sore throat on Wednesday again, because both times came back on Wednesday, had sore throat on like Wednesday night, and then Thursday, Friday I was doing stuff. Last year it was, we were at Disney World all day Thursday, and then Friday we were flying home. So that was like a lot of stuff going on, because flying's just exhausting in general.
Yeah.
And I think that probably made it, a little worse. COVID's never like fully knocked me out, but there's always been at least one day where I'm like just exhausted out of my mind.
I feel like the one time I had COVID, because I only had COVID once, it knocked me out.
Yeah.
Like, everything hurt for like a day, and I was not good. And I was like, the day I was doing it, I remember I was building the furniture outside. Because it was like during that summer, and I was like, it was like 2021 maybe? 2022?
Could be good amount of years back.
I don't know, yeah, it was a few years ago. And I had gotten all this, like the vaccines and stuff at that point. But like, I remember I just woke up and I wasn't feeling good. And I actually was like talking to Nia that day. And then I was like, I'm going to go build some furniture. Like,
Like a man.
Because I had to. I was like, but then so I went and I built for the yard furniture that's outside, the patio furniture. And I was outside and it was hot. And I remember just being like, I don't know, I don't feel so good. And I went back inside and I was like, I really don't feel so good. And then I was
terrible.
like, and then like that night it hit me, and then the next day, like my whole body just hurt and I was out. And I was like, I probably shouldn't have been in the sun for 2 hours building furniture.
No, probably not.
Was that after I moved and you came and helped me move and stuff?
I don't remember the timeline, honestly. I just know it was summer. It must have been 2020.
Because that was 2022.
It must have been 2022. Summer sometime. I don't know the time.
Because you and Ron came over and helped us supervise the movers, basically.
We were there.
And
Josh and I went to go get pizza.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that was fun.
Sang Blink-182.
Yeah, it was a good time.
It was a good time.
And I just remember as the course of the day went on, like moving boxes and stuff, I was just getting exhausted and like sweaty, and I thought it was just from like, exerting myself and already being exhausted from convention and stuff. And then I tested over the weekend, and I was like, oh, I have COVID for the first time.
Yeah.
And now I avoided it for like the first 2 major years of the pandemic, and now every time I go to my work convention I get COVID.
Yeah, I don't know the timeline.
And then the first year I went to my convention, I think I gave it to both of you too, probably.
Probably. It hit me like a truck.
Yeah.
Because I had COVID before and it wasn't that bad. I like had a day of sniffles, and then afterwards I'm like, alright, I'm good. But that time that you came back from your convention and gave it to me, I was like, life is pain.
He was so sore and like exhausted.
Yeah, I was
Isn't
hot.
it so strange though that like 4 years ago the world was shut down?
Yeah.
And like the whole world has been changed since then, but now we're like back at a point of normalcy, and then like COVID's still there, like it still exists, it's still a thing, but like it's not a big deal anymore.
But it also just, I mean, if you're vaccinated, it doesn't really knock you out as hard. It's like the flu.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think the same thing, if the flu had just started in 2020, it would have happened the same thing. We would have had to shut down and figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
We would have developed a vaccine, and then we would have slowly restarted the society.
It's just wild.
Yeah.
It's just wild.
It's wild to like go through it.
The whole world shut down.
And just remember that like for a whole year the world was shut down pretty much.
And the greatest thing about it all, it was terrible, but the greatest thing about it all, the streets were so empty.
No traffic.
The highway was so clear.
No traffic.
Los Angeles is beautiful.
The only good time, you can see the sky. It was blue.
Good, yeah.
It was blue. There's no
was
smog anywhere.
less.
It was the
streets
only.
were empty. You could go anywhere in LA in 20 minutes like you're supposed to.
Yeah.
I was watching some
It was the only good thing about it.
I was watching some of the Summer Olympics, and one of the announcers was saying that this one girl was only able to compete in the Tokyo Games because it was pushed back a year due to COVID, so she met the age requirements.
Oh, interesting.
And the announcer was like, probably nobody is really happy about COVID, but she's probably thankful that it at least gave her a chance to compete in Tokyo.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta find the silver linings, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, it was still a horrible
And I was
time,
like,
and
oh,
a lot
that's
of people
really
died,
interesting,
and that sucks.
Because I would think that, that wouldn't really change the requirements. It's like, whoever was eligible when it was first.
I would have thought that too.
I guess also if a lot of athletes like maybe passed away or got
sick and couldn't
too
do it.
sick to compete, you'd have to sub people out.
Yeah.
And some people got new chances and stuff like that. But it'd also be crazy to think that people were running like their Olympic trials again and stuff like that while
all that was going on.
Yeah.
It's wild. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to a ball game, Joe? I feel like we talked about this.
I mean, probably doing sports. Oh no, we're going down that road again.
Back to sports. It all leads back to sports.
I think I've been to one baseball game, but I was like out. I don't know what it's called. It's that one weird spot where it's like just grass, where you can just like sit in the grass area.
You sat in the grass?
Not in the stadium. It's like there's like the seats. Maybe this is not
the outfield.
Yeah.
The grass area on the field is called the outfield, but you're saying you were behind the grass.
Yeah, and there was another just like grass area where people just sat down. I don't know.
Is this like a major league game?
Was this like at a park?
Was this your nephew's game?
No, it was in a big stadium.
Is this Little League?
No, it was a big stadium.
Was there a tee that you put the ball on and there was a bunch of 4-year-olds swinging around wildly?
No.
Was this in a dream?
No.
Did you really go there?
No.
Is this New York all over again?
Don't do that to me. I had a real freak out about that when that happened.
About whether dreams are real?
Where I felt like I was in a simulation for a hot second. I freaked out for a little bit. It's like, holy shit.
Actually,
do you think we're in a simulation, Josh?
No.
Why? Or why not?
I don't want to believe it. That's really the penultimate of it all. Because like if we are in a simulation, then like that's weird. Like
I don't think so, unless somebody guided you towards me, because nobody that I know of guided me towards you.
Huh?
If this were a
I didn't understand that sentence either.
If this were a simulation, that would mean somebody wanted me to date you, right?
Okay, yeah.
And vice versa, if the simulation was for me, right? So you could debunk that by saying, like, you know, nobody set me up. Or like,
you don't know that. You don't know
as far as I know, I'm saying
what you've been programmed for.
We could be Sims.
Yeah.
We could be.
We're all speaking Simish to
that's
people.
the whole theory, right? Is that all of this is programmed. Or at least the building blocks are programmed and then they're just letting the simulation run to see what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And then adjust as needed.
Or it's just AI.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be.
We're AI we developed our own AI.
Yeah.
AIception.
So how you doing, Ryan?
Yeah, what's been going on with your life?
School.
Ours has been okay.
Same. Just school. This is my last week. Tomorrow is my last.
How's your project coming?
Oh, it's coming.
Is it gonna be finished?
I hope so. It wasn't as of so we met on Thursday with my group. So I have a group project for a class. Let me just tell y'all.
Yeah, tell me.
So I'm taking. I had 3 classes this summer. 2 of them were for my standard one, and then I decided to do a concentration because you get more units, and this will push me over the 60 unit mark. And if you get over 60 units, you can start higher on the pay scale. So I was like, you know what? I'll do a concentration. There's only 2 options. There's a Spanish bilingual bicultural one, which I'm like, well, I don't really qualify for either of those. And then there's the social justice and higher education one, which is the one I ended up doing because I'm like, well, if I could do higher education, then I have the whole...
And for those who don't know what you're getting
a master's in. I'm getting a master's in school counseling. I feel like we talked about this, but maybe...
Yeah, but...
Yeah. So
maybe there's a first time with a concentration in social justice.
And higher education, yeah. So I'm getting a master's, and so the full thing is a master's in educational counseling, which is school counseling, which is typically like, you know, elementary school, middle school, or high school, which you can do any with the degree. Like, you don't have to specify, oh, I'm going to do elementary school or I'm going to do high school. You can do whatever you want to do. It prepares you for all of it. And then I'm getting a concentration in social justice and higher education. So my social justice class, there's a few members, so the master's program is all in cohorts, right?
Sure.
So like based on what school, because the university I'm doing it, you can take classes at the main campus, which is about like an hour and a half away, or they have different satellite campuses throughout Los Angeles that so there's one in like Burbank, there's one in Bakersfield, there's like a bunch of different ones you can do. So there's one in town, and so that's the cohort and the campus I'm doing at is the one here. And so everyone who's at this campus, the Santa Clarita campus, we have our own little cohort, and so you basically all take the same classes together at the same time and kind of go through the program together. Made some cool friends. It's been great in that aspect, and the cohort is the best part of this, because what I have learned at school just kind of sucks. Like, coming from a school counselor, school sucks, and that's just what it's going to be. But if you have cool people and you make friends and you're all in this together, then it makes it a little bit better. So the social justice, because it's a concentration, it's outside of that cohort, because not everyone has to do this, right?
Yeah.
It's whether you choose to do a concentration at all or not. And it does kind of suck on a side tangent, because there's another concentration that is sometimes offered but is not currently offered, that is basically allows you to be licensed as essentially like a therapist too. So like if you want to do like private practice, you can, because you get licensed for it. And that was the one that I wanted to do. It would have added an extra year, which would have... Well, initially it wasn't supposed to, but what they're doing is they're changing the program, which is why it's not being offered right now, because it hasn't been approved yet. But that would have added an extra year. And they're like, you can choose to do it because maybe next summer it might be offered, but it also might not. Exactly. And I'm like, I'm not going to risk it. I'm just going to do the one concentration that I can do, get my extra units, earn more money once I start working, and just, that's fine. But it would have been cool to be... Like,
could you add that extra concentration? No.
You can't. So you have to... And I know there's some people in my cohort that are taking that risk. That's like, I want to do it, so I'm going to see if it's going to be offered, and if it's not, then it's not. And like, you just... You win or you lose, and I'm like, I'm not lucky enough.
So if they decide to just offer that next year, you couldn't just add those classes?
You just go to your other course. Like I said, I'm not going to be part of it, so you guys have a better chance.
Because you can only have... Yeah, seriously, I was like, well, I have bad luck, so if I choose to do it, then it won't happen. So if I don't do it, there's a better chance that this is going to happen. But no, you can't. You can only do one concentration. And so, like...
It's dumb.
There's a lot of... Because I'm like... It's not fair to us that just during the years we're here, all of a sudden this isn't being offered, and we can't retroactively get it done. Because even if, like, in a couple years they bring the program back, you can't go back and just do that concentration. You have to do it now.
Is there no... But there's a way you could get that certification or license, like, another way, right?
Not really, because most programs, from what they were saying, and, like, you could do research and look it up, too, like, most program is part of the program. So you would have to go through another master's program to get that.
Sounds stupid.
It is stupid. It's really stupid. It's really stupid. But so anyway, that aside, I was like, whatever, I'm just going to do the social justice higher education one. And that's cool because, like, if I decide I want to be a college-level counselor, like, I can have that option open if I want to. And so any grade level would be open to me, which is fine. However, so there's, like, 5 from my cohort, 5 students, including me, that are in this class. And there's, like, maybe, like, I don't know, 16-ish total in this class. So before the class even started, the teacher put us all in groups of 4, for this term project that we had to do over the course of the summer, and like that's the final project that's due tomorrow, actually.
Fun.
Now, lucky me, I don't have any of my friends in my group.
Oh.
Everyone else has someone else, and Ryan is all alone, which is great.
Because Ryan's lucky.
Yeah.
Because Ryan is lucky. See, there it is. And in my group of 4, the first week, one of them dropped out of the course. So now it's only a group of 3. And one of the 3 is very non-responsive and doesn't do a whole lot. Still waiting for them to finish their part of it, and it's due tomorrow. Remember this. Still waiting. And then the other one started off a little rocky, but like she's been on top of things, and her and I had kind of been like doing our best to get. But it's like, it's a robust project, man. Like, you basically have to like pick a university. It could either be a junior college or whatever. And you have to do like all this like research into like the demographics of the school, the region of the school, the social climate of the school, the political leanings of the board of trustees and all the stakeholders of like, it's a lot of like information that you have to find, which not all of it is super readily available. And then you have to find 3 areas of systemic oppression in the school, which like...
Oppression.
schools don't advertise what they're doing wrong. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, that's not stuff that they just put out there of like, oh yeah, we have a huge racist community on our campus. Like, no.
Come join us.
Like,
Come to our school.
Yeah, we hate black people. Come here. It's
Yeah.
like, that's not...
You should have chosen a school in the South. That would have been so easy.
I know. We did it.
What school did you guys choose?
Mount Sac. Because one of my group mates like knows somebody there or whatever.
Is it the one that talks to you guys, or the one
It's
who's
the one
very
that's participatory. Is the
Okay.
one that knows. So, which, to be fair, like her connection wasn't super helpful. But I'm like, whatever. As long as we have a school, I don't really care. But like, so like, it's just hard information to find.
If you could have chosen, what school would you do?
I don't know. I don't really care.
You wouldn't have done like Cal Poly or anything.
Schools that you know.
I mean, I don't know. Initially we chose Cal State Fullerton because I'm like, oh, that's in a more affluent area. So theoretically, it might be easier to find social justice qualms. But, and we did do some research, and honestly, it wasn't that easy because, again, schools don't advertise the negatives.
So you don't have to like lock in your school choice and then you're stuck with it. You could have switched it.
No, we switched, and like, cause in like week 2, I think, of summer, we had to meet with our professor, and this is an asynchronous class. So every week, like on Sunday or Monday, the teacher opens up the work that's done for the week, and you do it by Sunday, and then and so there's no interaction with the professor whatsoever aside from her saying, "All right, the week's open. Here's what you got to do. Do it by Sunday."
I need to teach that way. Just like. Open a discussion board. Just be like, here you go.
Yeah, but it's... Dude, and there's so much work, too. Like, every week for this class, I was writing, like, 10 to 12 pages.
Fun.
Every week. And reading, like, 50 to 100 pages of articles and journals and stuff. It was just a lot of work. It was a lot of work. And then having this stupid-ass project looming overhead constantly with a group that sucks. So it is a big project. It's a lot of work. And it's basically 2 of us doing a 4-person job.
Yeah.
And when we met with the professor, so we set a time, the 3 of us, and then the other 2 kept wanting to change the time to different times or whatever. One of them didn't even end up showing up to the meeting with the professor, and the other one showed up 15 minutes late. And I'm like, this is my group, professor. Like, it's me.
Help me.
I'm here. Help. And she's just like, wow, that sucks, huh? And I'm like, huh? Yeah.
That's a very
Yeah, good luck. And I'm just like, oh, God. Because I was talking to, like, my classmates later, and they were like, did you tell her, like, that? Because, like, this sounds rough. And I'm just like, she was there at the meeting when it was just me. Like, she knows that, like, 1 kid dropped out. 1 doesn't show up, and the other was 15 minutes late to a 25-minute meeting. Mm-hmm. So, like, that she changed the time for. She changed the time to the time that the meeting was, and then was still late. And I'm like, this is my group. This is my group. It's just me.
Help me.
And so it's just been a stressful summer because this class alone is a lot of work, and then the other 2 classes, one of them was fine. Just like busy work, and then the other one was also busy work, but the professor just like couldn't get information right. Like his syllabus was just consistently wrong, and then would be telling us other things.
How is his syllabus wrong?
Like the dates were wrong for when things were due. The assignments were incorrect. Like for 4 different weeks we had journals like. Academic journal articles that we would have to read and then do article critiques for. And on the syllabus he would have the names listed, but they weren't in the appropriate weeks. So like, let's say it was weeks what was it? It was like 3 to 7 or 2 to 6 or whatever were the weeks we had to do these for. So we would have 1 listed for 2, 1 listed for 3, nothing for 4, even though we had to do 2 articles during week 4. There's nothing listed there. And then 1 for 6. And we're like, so which one do we do for week 4? Which one's done at week 5? And we don't have one for week 6. Because the 4 are being done before that.
Yeah.
And so like the whole thing was just wrong. And that was his 3rd time doing the syllabus. That was his 3rd version of the syllabus. And it was wrong every single time. It never got corrected. And so everyone's confused. All the time. And at one point I'm just like me and like a bunch of my friends went to the library and me and my other friend was just like, just pick one. Just pick one and do it and turn it in. Because, like, who cares?
Yeah.
Like, we got to do them all eventually. There's no answer on the syllabus. He didn't say anything. He just said, turn in your journal article review. And that's it. And it's like, just communicate.
Yeah.
But he does, and there's one class where we had to meet, and it was through Zoom. And, like, 10 minutes into the class, he just, like, disappeared from the call. Like, something happened with his internet.
Just disconnected.
Like, seriously, and, like, that's fine, right? Like, technical difficulties, whatever, that's fine. We all sat there for 45 minutes waiting for this man to come back. Never came back, and he ended up just texting one of the other students and said, we're not going to have class tonight. Just do what I told you to do, and we'll come back next week. Exactly! And that was the problem, because he was in the middle of explaining something that he was going to put us into groups, and then we were going to talk about something in breakout rooms, and then come back and talk. And he was in the middle of explaining that and putting people in groups, didn't finish, and then doesn't finish. Just says, do what I told you to do, and we'll talk about it next week. And we're all like, what are we supposed to do? So, like, some of us were in a group. Like, I was in a group. He had just finished saying the 2 people he wanted, like, me to work with, right? Mm-hmm. And then my group mates were kind of like, what are we supposed to do? And I'm like, I think it's this, but I don't know, because he didn't finish explaining it. And then the other 6 people in the class didn't even have a group. And then they're like, well, what are we supposed to do? And, like, he would not communicate. He would just refuse to communicate.
He just texted one student.
He just texted one student and had her tell everyone else what to do. And I'm like, that's
after
not...
45 minutes?
After 45 minutes. I'm like, that is not her job. Send a freaking email to your students with your expectations of what you want us to do.
I mean, I guess we don't know what he was doing in that time. He could have been trying to send an email or do other stuff and was maybe having issues.
I think he was trying to figure out the Zoom, which again is fine. Like, technical difficulties, that's fine. No one's faulting anyone for that.
Yeah.
But freaking communicate with your students. Don't give, like, half-ass messages to one student and then have them communicate to everyone else. That's not their job. That's your job as the professor of a graduate level class. Like, you've done this before. This is in your first year teaching. Just communicate with your students.
That's so funny.
And he just, like, the whole summer just, like, refused to
Communication is people's number one problem.
Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah.
And if people just communicated better, I think the world would be so much smoother.
Yeah, but communication is hard because not everyone understands in the same way.
You go forward.
Yeah, exactly.
Go forward, Josh.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I felt like I was pretty clear about what I wanted to.
It's funny because
explain it to them.
So we were playing this new game mode in League of Legends called Swarm, and it's like this survival game where you get to play different characters, and you just...
It's like a bullet hell kind of thing. Like, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, you just run around while things try to swarm you, and try to survive for 15 minutes until you fight a boss. And so we got this challenge where the screen goes dark. Ryan died. And so his screen wasn't dark, and he's like, "All right, Josh, I'll tell you where to go.
I'll be your eyes.
I'll be your eyes." It was very like Survivor, like everybody's blindfolded except for one person type of thing.
We know that we would have lost that challenge.
And so Ryan's like, "Go forward," and he's like, "Not that forward, like forward."
Yeah.
And Josh is like, "What do you mean forward?"
To
and
be
he's
fair,
like,
Josh kept going in different directions too.
Yeah, that's why when you said forward, I was like, I don't know what forward is. I've been different forwards here.
And he's like, "Forward means up, like towards the top of the screen." That's what you were saying, right?
Yeah.
But to him, forward means wherever your character is facing.
Which was
but also
when I said it.
If Josh is spinning around, forward keeps changing.
Yeah, exactly. That's why.
No, because
and then afterwards,
to me, forward was the direction we were facing, but it was also up.
But
so I'm saying go the direction you're going. Keep going that direction.
But I was changing, so I didn't know when you meant that.
And then, so what happened is he was going a direction, and I'm like, okay, go forward. Keep going that direction is what it means to me.
Sure.
And then you turn, and that's why I'm like, no, go forward.
And then you just kept saying
I'm
that.
like, go forward, Josh. And I'm like, what the
fuck is forward? Say
Yeah.
right, left, up, or
no,
down.
I understand.
Because the map stays constant.
I understand the error of my ways,
Well-
but at the same time,
Forward.
it made sense to me.
Sure.
Well,
no.
and then it's funny. So I'm like, so in the Survivor Challenge, if you were blindfolded and somebody's telling you to go
This is a
forward,
conversation we had yesterday.
yeah, this is
Oh,
a conversation we had yesterday because we were talking about it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like,
It's a hot
so if
topic.
somebody were to tell you to go forward, where would you go? And he's like, I would go away from the person speaking. And I'm like,
No,
no.
I did not say that.
That's what you said.
I said away from the direction we came from.
Okay, well, that's where the person's speaking because you always start below.
But that
the
is
person.
I thought that,
distinction.
I was
That
thinking.
is a
I was thinking of the one inside the ball. 'cause
That's
that's
a
different.
distinction. That is a distinction.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
A forward is away from where we started.
sure.
And that makes sense. To
But
me.
I was
To
like,
me,
no, because
forward
they're
is
always.
the direction you're facing.
Yeah.
You go forward.
But that's
Sure.
what I told him, and I was like, well, I'm glad we now know we would fail that
Yeah,
challenge.
yeah, absolutely.
No,
Absolutely.
look. What I have learned too is because when I did that escape room with Adam and his friends, there was a part where I was like looking at a thing and I had to tell someone else to do something. What I've learned is the way my brain works is not the way everyone's brain works. Things that make sense to me do not make
Well,
sense.
because
to
what I was
everyone
telling
else.
him too is that when that was going on, the whole forward thing,
Go forward, Josh.
forward gate 24,
Forward game.
I knew
Did you
exactly.
end up dying?
Probably.
I knew exactly what was happening, what you meant, what he was understanding, and because he does that where sometimes I'm like talking to Art or even him sometimes, and like
I just don't understand.
you know, there's just a communication
Yeah.
error because of the language that we're using and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, it's
And he's like, oh, I know what you mean, but I know how Art's like interpreting it or whatever. And I'm like, I was there in
What?
real time, like understanding all of it and the whole clusterfuck that was happening in the moment.
What I've learned specifically in our relationship is that we have very different interpretations of things. And I always come back to, there was this one, like when we first started dating, there was this, I had gotten him a gift of some sort, or we were talking about like, no, I did give him a gift. And he was trying to guess because he's impatient and he wants to know what he got.
Yeah.
And so he was asking me
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a million questions, and he got to one question, and it's like, "Is it this thing?" And then I told him, "No, but I can see how you can probably think that is," and that confused the hell out of him. And then he got it. It was like a stuffed toy or whatever. It's like that's not what it means. Like I know, I knew you were probably gonna get that misinterpreted in your head. Because that's how your mind works, is you think very differently of what I think is the same thing. It was some stuffed toy. I forget what it was.
That's funny.
But
I
yeah.
remember what he-
But we always had a miscommunication with specific
Oh, it's when he.
details.
I know what you gave me. You gave me that little Kirby,
Yeah.
the squishy.
Yeah.
He's my son.
Yeah.
But
You throw him at me all the time.
Ian likes to throw
he's
things.
Yeah.
squishy.
At least he's throwing soft things at you. He likes to throw ornaments and tissue
I
boxes.
never
at
threw
me.
ornaments at
He
you.
did.
Tissue boxes
Cut
for
my head
sure.
open.
Tissue box can't confirm.
Tissue boxes was
Because
his
he would
friend.
yell at me about the corners.
Yeah,
Tissue
because
bo-
they hurt.
They're hard.
They
in our
hurt.
house, tissue boxes were just the most readily available thing.
Just because you have one on your desk doesn't mean it's readily available.
You also don't have to throw things.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly.
Anyways.
Anyway.
School sucks is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But I have one more year. And then hopefully never again.
Almost there.
And some people are like, don't you want to get a master's? I'm like, I didn't, or a PhD. I'm like, I didn't even want to get a master's. I'm only doing it because I have to.
Yeah.
Like,
I told
don't-
him he should get a PhD.
I don't want a
when we were
PhD.
in San Diego.
Yeah, I'm okay.
You're good with that.
Yeah.
Well, because Joe was saying that a lot of PhDs you don't have to pay for it. Like the school pays for it.
And I don't know how true that is. I know Daisy had to pay for her doctorate and is very much praying for debt relief right now.
I think most debt relief is not for. Is just for undergrad. I think.
I think that is true, but I think that
I think
there's
that's what
some,
most of it is for.
There's some, because she sent me this TikTok of this girl who got a medical degree
Yeah.
Huh?
He was loving.
and
That's
was
fine.
talking about debt relief. So I don't know. I think it depends, but it is typically for undergrad. It's not.
Which is not fair because graduate school is more expensive and I want mine paid off.
Yeah,
Thank
but
you.
undergrad is also
Thank
seen
you
as
very
more
much.
like
Accessible,
necessary
yeah.
than graduate school.
True that.
And-
True that.
Graduate school is also more expensive, but also people who get graduate degrees usually make more money.
Hopefully.
Especially like in any doctor field, like You know, you think of a therapist or like a medical doctor, they make enough to be able to pay that back.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas you think of a school counselor and you will be paying that off for the rest of your life.
No, school counselors make pretty good money.
Do they?
Yeah.
Become a school counselor, they need you.
Only if you
Schools
actually
need
care about people.
Yeah.
Because
Well-
it's a hard job and it's emotionally exhausting.
It's a hard
and
knock life. for
It's a
me.
real big gray area for a lot of things.
Yeah.
Because you're dealing with students who have no rights, and their parents have all the educational rights. So there's a lot of it's a lot of gray area. But you just gotta do your best to
And
help.
if Trump wins, he's gonna get rid of the Department of Education.
Yeah, so all this might be for naught, and I might not even have a job after all of this, and be in debt. So
Ugh.
as we said last time, this election has a lot on the line.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
he won't forgive your debts
Oh, certainly not.
I'll make you pay more.
unless you become his
Honestly, probably.
unless you somehow become his rich friend.
I don't want to. I mean, I'll take his money, but I don't. Want to.
Take his money.
I don't want to be his friend.
That's fair.
I'm okay.
That's fair.
Pass.
Hard pass.
Hard pass. Obsidian. No, obsidian's fragile. What's a diamond level pass?
Is obsidian fragile?
Obsidian is fragile. It's very sharp, but it's very.
Yeah,
brittle.
okay. That's all I can think of.
They make swords out of it.
I believe it. It's just like. I mean, I guess because
there's
technically
some
it's
weapons
glass.
that have it's glass is what
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
So it's very fragile.
Or they make, I think they make the edge of the blade in the obsidian, right?
And-
But the bulk of it is probably not, so that it doesn't just snap.
Yeah, I know. The Aztecs had sword like weapon, but it was mostly like a club with obsidian shards on the
Spikes.
side. Yeah, for the cutting. And then it's easier to replace because if one breaks, you just take it off and you put a new one.
Yeah.
And instead of a whole sword, you swing it and shatter.
It's good design.
Yeah.
Yeah, they knew what they were doing. with that.
So Josh has finally signed up to get a passport. He has an appointment and everything.
Oh yeah, Mom was saying something. Okay, so Josh, tell me why now?
Cause life is hitting me like a ton of bricks, and whenever this happens, I guess it happens often.
Does it?
It does actually. Some are less, noticeable than others, but
Sure.
I do have a lot of bad luck. But whenever that happens, it's like I know that after this badness, only things are gonna be normal or good luck.
Yeah.
Because that's how my
It ebbs and flows.
Exactly, but right now it's the up and flow. So I'm like, okay, right now is gonna be the easiest time to do everything that I need to do.
Sure.
So I was like, gotta do it right now ish.
All right. Cool.
I did tell him not
I'm
to go
happy
to
for
the
you.
passport fair because I feel like it's just gonna be sitting in a line all day.
Oh yeah, I feel
Probably.
like.
So we made an
yeah.
appointment for 2 weeks from now.
Where is the appointment at?
Post office.
Okay, cool. Good for you, Josh.
That's gonna be happening.
That's awesome.
Hopefully it's sometime soon. I also look into buying a car and whatnot and figure that out stuff so I
Nice.
can actually have a vehicle to drive to work. 'Cause
Yay.
God knows we need vehicles in this day and
And
age.
hopefully a newer.
Yeah, he's looking for stuff around 2015.
That's not bad. That's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah, the ones that we looked at are all the four that I liked have been good.
He also looked at a lot of Mazdas, like my car, and I'm like, you want to buy a car exactly like mine? Like,
And you don't want to be twinsies.
Twinsies.
I do like the Mazda though.
Yeah,
I like
dude.
your car, and
Get what
he
you
and
like,
he
man.
and
Get what
he
you like.
he scoffed at me,
How dare he?
and he said, "You only like it because it's better than yours." I'm like, yes, obviously,
Well, 'cause-
but
well,
still.
But
'Cause he
it's-
kept calling-
That could both be true.
yeah, but he just kept using the word reliable, and I'm like, that's because it wasn't made in the 90s.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. My car is 2004, and that thing is still kicking.
Yeah, but you have put so much money into that car.
Yeah, most of it's replaced, but
It's basically a new car.
it's still kicking.
The exterior might look the same, but the inside's
Inside.
all new.
All new, baby.
But yeah.
That's
So-
cool. Good for you, man.
So hopefully,
I hope all that works out.
yeah. Because right now we're just hopefully I'm on the up, and not still on the down.
Seems like it. That's all. That's positive.
You,
stuff.
And he's like, I'm so over this month. And then he looked at me, he's like, I know everything happened in July, don't say
yeah,
it.
don't.
And I was like, but you should look at it as we just started a new month, new things can happen now.
Yeah, it's fresh.
It's a fresh start.
It's a fresh start.
July is over, that's where the bad happened. Don't make August be a whole wash because we just started it.
It's true.
I'm
You
still
know.
over it though.
That's fair, but August is...
Ian, what's a good note for you to end on? Give us a little positive in your life.
Hey,
He's quitting league.
That would never happen.
No, that's what I told him though. I'm gonna try to play less this month.
Oh, good for you.
I just feel like I've been extra stressed and it's not helping. So
Yeah, it's a stressful, toxic game filled with stressful, toxic players.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think I've lost 90% of games that I've played in the last week.
Nice, good for you.
Yeah, everybody sucks.
But yeah. So
Well, and it's not just that everybody sucks. It's like they either are not like actually as good at the game as like, you know, I feel like they should be in like diamond level and stuff, or some people are legitimately just like trolling or not trying. And I'm like, this is the ranked queue, and I'm like, if I play normals and I try to like play to win, people are like, oh, stop tryharding, that's what ranked is for. If I try to play flex, which is like you can queue with up to 5 people and it's a ranked queue, people go, oh, this is just like for fun ranked. Like if you want to play for series, go to solo duo queue, and then I go to solo duo queue, and then I get like this top laner who's like, I just blind pick random champions and this is for fun, and I'm like, what
This
what
is
are we
why
playing
I
for?
don't like gaming communities. And it's not even just the competitive, because all competitive games are like that.
Mhm.
Which is part of the reason why I hate competitive games, because the people who play them freaking suck. And take the fun, it's like games are fun. But even non-competitive games like Elden Ring, single player game. There's a lot of options, and like just the comments and like on posts, or like I'll look, because I've been playing the DLC, right? So I've been like looking at the wiki, like I just beat the final boss yesterday, very difficult, of the DLC, but like the comments on anything you look up is just filled with people complaining, like, oh, FromSoft, this weapon sucks, this is so stupid, you guys are stupid, this whole DLC, and it's like, or like complaining like, oh, why would you ever use this weapon, it's so bad. And it's like, just let people have fun. Games are supposed to be fun. Did you know that? Did you know you're supposed to play games that have fun? Just let people have fun. Why does people have to complain about everything and say, oh, you gonna use this and you don't know, you suck. Why would you ever do that? Why would you use this build? Why would you do this? If you're not gonna min-max, why are you even playing? And it's like, because I just want to have fun.
Yeah,
I want to use fun weapons. There's like 100 weapons in this game. Let me just have fun. Let me have a good time.
I mean,
Let me
the only
explore.
point that really
like,
matters is if it's a team game and you're playing ranked, and like, you know, you have to rely on your teammates.
Exactly, but it's
a
the
solo...
same people too. You know, it's the same people who are shitting in all the Elden Ring comments are the same people who's like throwing games and just like making things unbearable. Like, I get that people play games differently, but like games at the end of the day are for fun. Mm-hmm. This is stress relief. This is escapism. This is to have a good time. And you being just assholes about every single thing is not fun. Just let people have a good time. Just let people have fun. Why do you have to ruin it for people? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
I will say that like the summer finals for the North American League is gonna be at the YouTube Theater.
Oh, that's cool.
In LA,
yeah.
And I think we might go to the finals.
Oh, that's cool.
Because it's gonna.
I'll go with you.
So yeah, we might have.
That guy, super good.
I think it's around 100.
We'll see.
And that's for both days, the semifinal and the final.
Maybe that could be fun.
And
I like just going to things.
I think we're gonna get like Ragov to go and like
cool.
Frank and Robert. And gonna have a group.
Nice. I'll be like,
the boys.
Where's the Misfortune mains?
Hasn't been played in years.
No, she's in the meta right now.
Oh,
is she? Yeah, my girl,
my queen,
my pirate queen. Yes, I knew it.
The most fun thing is to just rush Bloodthirster.
Sure, you need that lifesteal.
Yeah.
It's a bloody weapon.
Yeah,
it takes.
It's a giant sword.
I love that. Yeah, I love that.
So you don't actually see it.
So you have these two big guns,
yeah, you do.
And you buy a sword to go with it.
Yeah, because obviously
lifesteal, man.
And because AD carries are all ranged champions, but all they do is buy swords to augment their weapons.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
I get that.
Riot, you know what you're doing.
So anyways.
Anyway, let's end on that.
Yeah.
I love pirate queens. If you know one,
send them my way.
And have fun when you're playing games, and remember that it's for fun, and stop being an asshole about it. All right, people play games differently. You do what you want, but like, just let me have fun.
Let me live life and live in beard my hair.
Yeah, it's not that serious, people. Come on. And also, Shadows of the Earth Tree is great, and if you're complaining about it, stop being a baby. All right, come on.
Get good.
There's also so many people complaining, oh, this game's hard. It's like, it's always been hard.
It's meant to be.
It's freaking a FromSoft game. They're notorious for making... But what happened was, and this is just my last aside because I'm on it.
Sure.
And then we'll end in the episode.
Sure.
It's because after Elden Ring came out, right, and everyone's like, oh, this game's great and amazing. For the last couple years, people got used to being way over-leveled, way overpowered, and modding the game to do a bunch of ridiculous shit to make the game easier.
Yeah.
So then when they came out with the DLC, they put a lot of, like, they made this whole new different kind of progression system to go along with the regular level system. And made the enemies a lot harder, both in terms of the way they do combat and just like the amount of damage they do and how much damage they take, right? So they made it harder on purpose to like throttle kind of this overpoweredness. So now everyone's complaining that the game's hard, and it's like it's because you got used to freaking cheating.
Yeah.
That's why it's hard now, because now they're forcing you to freaking play the game again. It's always been hard. These games are notorious for being hard. That's the whole
But
point.
what if some people just want it to be easy?
That's,
Should they not play those games?
No, you can. I mean, because the reason why they're hard is part of it is like you learning how to play the game.
Yeah.
Learning how the boss's combos work. When do you dodge? When can you block? How do you do all of this?
Some players don't want games to be that hard.
Then you don't play that game then. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I know that there are accessibility settings for like people who have disabilities to like help them do that, and like that's great. But also, it's a hard game. You know what I mean? And like and people complaining for that reason is one thing, but people just complaining for the sake of complaining, be like, this is too hard because they're used to cheating. Like, just come on, son. Like, relax.
What did you think about that one streamer who said there should be a pause button?
In Elden Ring, there should be a pause button?
Yeah.
I didn't hear about that, but like...
Oh, there was like a big controversy because I forget what the video was titled, but I think she was complaining about it's like inaccessible to like moms and stuff. And basically all she was really just saying is like, if my kid needs me, I can't pause the game.
I mean, I get that, and I don't think that... Because sometimes I forget that when you go in the menu, it doesn't pause the game. The world's still going. There'll be times where I'll go in the menu because I'm used to that being a feature, that if you press the menu button, the game stops.
Yeah.
And it's a pause screen. You come back and you're dead. And like that is annoying. And I don't think adding that feature would take away from the game.
No.
So like I think people's criticisms that like, you know, can the game, or that be a setting you turn on? Because I also understand, like, having that stakes there, like, you can't just be sitting in the menu screen and all this kind of stuff, and, like, during boss fights, right, like, you can't be, you know, switching your inventory around, like, you gotta go in prepared, or you gotta figure it out where you die and start over.
I think there's a difference between pause screen, where, like, literally nothing can change, and, like, you know, pressing start, where you can actually change, like, items and stuff like that.
Because I also remember, too, I remember playing Skyrim one day, and I remember you walking in, and I was, like, fighting, like, a dragon or something. And in that game, when you go in the menus, the game pauses. And you can go in, and you can heal with potions and stuff.
Eat everything.
And I remember doing that, and you're like, you can just pause and heal? That doesn't seem fair. And, like, but that's a mechanic. And I remember that so vivid, because I'm like, I don't know, that's just how the game
works. I feel like that's not something I would say, because in every game...
Exactly.
I feel like in every game I've played, you can open the menu and...
I remember that so vividly.
Like, use med packs or whatever in the middle of combat.
Yeah, well, you could do that, right, in Star Wars, but that takes an action turn, and it's a turn-based thing, where Skyrim is real time, and you pause, and you can heal all the way up, and then go back in.
Yeah.
Right? And so I know that, or I imagine part of the reason why in Elden Ring or other, like, Dark Souls-esque games, that's not a thing, is because that would be a bit unfair to the difficulty that they're trying to do, is you could just pause and heal.
Yeah.
Because part of it is managing, when can I heal? When can I drink my flask and heal a little bit during this boss fight? If you do it at the wrong time, you still get hit, and then that's kind of like, so it's part of learning the process, learning the patterns.
I mean, you could definitely make it so, like, the start button
just as a straight pause.
Yeah.
And, like, the select button would open the menu.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And I think that that's reasonable. I think that that's a reasonable criticism.
Yeah, because one of them could just put the word pause on your screen. It doesn't have to open a menu.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's a legit criticism, and I think that like having that even as an accessibility feature that you can turn it on or off, because some people might not want that. I think that that's valid.
Yeah.
But again, I don't think that changes the game.
No.
You know, it's still going to be the same difficulty.
Pausing, especially in a single player game, though, I think it's a feature that should exist in any single player game. Because like in multiplayer, yeah, it's too hard. Like League has it for competitive stuff in case like somebody's having like a mouse issue or whatever, or like one of the most common things is somebody spills their drink on the desk. Right. But like so they have it for that. But like if I'm with 9 other random people across the world, I can't just pause it and then go like to the bathroom or whatever. Games would be too long.
Right.
And people would abuse it, right?
Right, exactly.
So, I mean, that makes sense. But in a single player where you're literally not affecting another player's experience or whatever, I don't see why a pause...
I mean, you can sometimes, because you can, like in Elden Ring, you can summon other players into your world, and you can just explore with them.
Yeah.
And I have seen that there's a mod that like makes it a lot more seamless so that you can do more and make it like a more true multiplayer experience, which is pretty cool.
But I think if you're opting into those features where you're like using multiplayer mode in a traditionally like single player game, in that type of sense, the pause would be disabled because...
Well, that's how it is in Warframe. Like if you are in like just private mode in Warframe when you're playing and you press pause, it pauses everything. But if you're in like the like either public or invite only or any kind of the multiplayer matchmaking settings, then when you pause, it doesn't pause. It's still live. So yeah, but anyway, I just wanted to go on that tangent because it's just people are annoying, man.
Yeah. People love to
and
be
like,
annoying.
Just have fun. Just enjoy playing games because they're supposed to be fun. Anyway, I'm off my soapbox. Thank you for listening. Do you have anything else you want to say, boys?
No, I'm good.
All right, have a good one.
Talk to you next time.